Hi, and welcome to the Trucking Scribe. Today we're going to do a little Bible study to start with. We're going to talk about peace and what kind of peace Jesus gives to us. Then we're going to make this ephemera holder. You can see it a little bit better here. I haven't put a lot of ephemera in it, but what I was using as an example is this book. It's my Christmas ephemera book. I haven't put pockets in this part yet. So I still have more pockets to go in here, but I put some in to show you how to do it. And then I showed you my stuffed loaded tag pockets. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you. Hi, and welcome back. Today, got a few things going on. I'm going to say thank you first to Eat62, Kitty, Amy Kreckman, sorry if I said that wrong, Miss Pat over at Crafting with Pat and More, Betty from Pre-Retirement Days, I think is what it was. Sorry, Betty, I just totally forgot. Just Donna Marie, and then National Park Princess. National Park Princess, she does videos on nature and on hikes and all, so it's really good. Go check her out. So Kitty, she leaves me Bible study sometimes. Well, not sometimes. Every time she leaves a comment, she leaves me a Bible study. Well, this one is 2 Thessalonians 3:16, and it talks about peace. Now the Lord of peace himself give you peace always by all means. The Lord be with you all. There's all this stuff that's going on in the world during Jesus' time and Paul's time. And pretty much if you look at our world today, there's a lot of the same things going on. It's just 20th century, 21st century stuff. So I looked for this passage in Blue Letter Bible. Dr. Ligon Duncan had wrote How Jesus Gives Us Peace. And he talks about Jesus telling of his coming death, so that gives the disciples and the people reasons to worry, reasons to stress and not have peace. He also talks about Jesus telling of Peter's denial. So Peter's stressing because he's worried about this denial and all, and there's nothing he can do because it's already going to happen. Jesus has foretold it. Then there's Judas. They're worrying about who's going to betray Jesus and give him to the government. So Dr. Duncan talks about Jesus saying, "Let not your hearts be troubled. Believe in God. Believe also in me." Jesus is telling his disciples, don't be worrying, don't be stressing about all this stuff and how you're going to get stuff today or tomorrow. And then he jumps over, and I'm just going to 14:27. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. Not as the world gives do I give to you. Let not your hearts be troubled, neither let them be afraid. You heard me say to you, I am going away, and I will come to you. If you loved me, you would have rejoiced, because I am going to the Father, for the Father is greater than I. And now I have told you before it takes place, so that when it does take place, you may believe. I will no longer talk much with you, for the ruler of this world is coming. He has no claim on me, but I do as the Father has commanded me, so that the world may know that I love the Father. Rise up and let us go from here. So Jesus is telling them, all this is going to happen. He's telling the future. And I don't know, if I was told the future, I'd be worrying too. Or how can I change it? And how can I do this? And how can I do that? Well, Jesus is saying, don't worry about it. So while I was looking for Judas' name, because I totally forgot it, I had flipped over here and was looking to read more of that section on Jesus talking to his disciples. But here I saw, do not be anxious. Therefore I tell you, do not be anxious about your life, what you will eat or what you will drink, nor about your body, what you will put on. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothing? Look at the birds of the air. They neither sow nor reap nor gather into barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not of more value than they are? And which of you, by being anxious, can add a single hour to his span of life? So, anxious is another word for not having peace. So, if you're anxious, you're definitely not at peace. And why are you anxious about clothing? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They neither toil nor spin, yet I tell you, even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. But if God so clothes the grass of the field, which today is alive and tomorrow is thrown into the oven, will he not much more clothe you, O ye of little faith? Therefore do not be anxious, saying, what shall we eat, or what shall we drink, or what shall we wear? For the Gentiles seek after all these things, and your heavenly Father knows that you need them all. But seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. Therefore, do not be anxious about tomorrow, for tomorrow will be anxious for itself. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble. So that just brings me back to John 14:27, when Jesus says, peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you, not as the world gives us this peace. And he tells us not to let our hearts be troubled and not to let them be afraid. So he's telling of his coming death, which anybody that knows that their death is coming, so that they have a incurable disease and the doctors have told them that they're not going to survive. Everybody's scared to death of them dying. But Jesus is saying, don't worry about it. I'll be here and I will give you that peace. So just like he tells of his coming death, he tells of Peter's denial, of Judas's betrayal. And he says, let your hearts not be troubled. So I didn't write half of this down. Yeah. Let your hearts not be troubled. Believe in God. Believe also in me. And then he goes on to say, peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. Not as the world gives do I give to you. Do not let your hearts be troubled. Neither let them be afraid. So don't worry about what's going on tomorrow or next week or in the next years. Worry about what God has given us today and the beauty. I was out walking the other day. I'm trying to get out and go walking every day, but I'm not doing it. But I'm talking to God on this walk, and I'm like, I don't understand why I'm not getting out here walking and just enjoying the beauty of the world that you've given me. These trees are turning so pretty oranges and browns, and then at other times there's flowers and all kinds of cool stuff out there just waiting for me to get out and go look at it. So don't worry. Let God have your worries. Let Jesus have your worries, and just trust in them. So I really want to thank Kitty for giving me that Bible study, because it brought me over here. I was not planning on at all talking about Matthew 6:25, but I did. So God must have been showing me, come over here, and somebody needs to hear this. So I'm very glad that I decided to go ahead and read that today. So last year, I was looking through some stuff, and last year I made this. It's just a little ephemera holder, and it's Christmas themed. So I took scrapbook paper. You can see I forgot all about these little. I need to get some of this ephemera out and put in my other stuff. Yeah. But I found it, and I was like, oh, I need to show y'all how to do this, because it was really quick. We're using, I think I used 8.5 by 11. Yep, I cut this down to 8.5 by 11. And I used strips of scrapbook paper to put in here. And you can see I still need to put more pockets and stuff. But this held a lot more than I thought it would. I mean, you can just look where I got the pockets and all this. It's just like, wow. And it's not real thick yet. It's got plenty of room. So I was going to show you today how to make this. I have these I just found laying around. I thought, well, why not use these? So what I'm doing now is checking the grain, which this is not doing me a whole lot on that one. So when you fold your paper like this, see, yeah, the grain is going this way because it folds better. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but it takes me more to press it this way than it does this way. So I really want my fold to be going this direction. So just like this, I want this side going with this grain. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this at 8.5, or I could do 9. I mean, it doesn't matter. Let's just go ahead and do 9. So then I'm just going to fold this in half. So I need to know what width this is. 6 inches. So what I want to do is actually take these and I'm going to cut them in half. It's 6. Then I'm going to do 1 inch. I don't need that much. What do I got here? 4. I'm going to do about 3. And so I'm going to use this and I'm going to trim it. This is what I was thinking a while ago, and I got confused on what I was making from this and this. And I may need to make bigger boxes, but what I'm fixing to do is cut this strip right here. See, this white strip, and we'll cut that. So our paper is going this way. This is the size that I'm going to need my little piece, which is 9 inches. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to cut it at 9. It's 1 inch, so we'll do 1 inch. That looks good. So I'm at 6. I'm going to do 5. So what I'm going to do is take my foam folder and I'm just going to put a score line right down the middle of this, just because it makes it easier for me to fold. And you can see it's not a very big piece, it's just 1 inch long. And what is so cool about this thing, this particular style of journal, you can do this for any kind of journal. So you can make a junk journal out of this instead of an ephemera holder. You can make a book. So you're just using these. And I have some somewhere that are different than this. So now I'm just going to take these and I'm going to fold them in half. And really, I can have either side. I think I'm going to put this side because I like it better. And then my writing's not going backwards. I like to fold mine and crease it with the bone folder. This one is not quite 1 inch, but that's okay. Or 1/2 inch. And yep, I'm doing it backwards again. These don't take long. You can do assembly line and make quite a few of these at one time. So here are our shelves, or our little pockets we're going to make. Those are our pockets. Here's our strips that we're going to put these together. So what I'm going to do first is go in here and we're going to put this strip in. So how you do that is you come over here and you start by gluing this down. I'm just going to put glue all the way down it, and I'm trying to get closer to the edge. That way it will hold. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to line this up right there. See? And I'm going to trim my little things down because I thought I had cut my pages to 9, but I didn't. So if you can see, this is flat. They're even right there. I'm going to trim this one down on this side. I'm going to take the next one and I'm going to put glue all the way down here. I'm trying to get on the outer side is more because that's going to be the side I want held down, but I don't want extra glue in there either. So I'm just going to line this up again right there to where they're even. So this one's a little bit shorter, but actually I'm going to leave it just because of the way this goes together. I think I'm going to leave it like that. And then we're going to do our next piece just like this. So I hope y'all are having a good week. It has been nice here at my house. The weather outside is good. It's been raining a little bit the last few days, but we didn't have any rain for most of October. I'm just going to trim that down because I know that one's a little bit too big. And I trimmed crooked. See right here? I really don't want that going over, but now I'm going to let it dry. And this, you're not going to see this because you're going to have this piece right here on there. So then I'm going to take my next one and put it on here. And I'm trying to remember what this is called. I know that Janie over at the Crafting Book Forum, she's made these and she calls them glue books, but she does hers different. So she actually glues this page to this page, and instead of doing these little strips like that. So I'm going to wind up trimming these. I can see already because it is bothering me. I'm going to take my scissors and cut it down. And I did not check over here to see if this lay down good or not. See, this one doesn't have anything on it because it doesn't need it. It's just folded in half. Same thing here. So we're just going to do the same thing again. Glue this down. So I'm trying to figure out some other things that I can do. I had a bag the other day. I've lost it, of stuff that I wanted to look at and try and do with you guys. So I'm lining this up again best I can. And I'm just going to trim that little piece, which is probably not good for your glue. And see how this is kind of bowed up right there? I'm going to use my bone folder to press it down while it's still wet. And then we're just going to keep going. And these are just so quick and easy to make. There's no sewing. There is just some glue. I need to look and make sure my page is the right way up. And so now what I'm going to do, and this is not going to be long enough, I'm going to take one of these pieces and let it be my spine. Right here, I'm going to go to one. And then I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and do a 1/2 inch spine on this. So I was proud of myself last week because I actually did my videos all week. I'm trying to get back in the routine of videos all week long. Okay, so now what we're doing, this is going to be the spine part. We're not going to glue this part. We're going to glue this side and this side. Well, the inside of it. I think what I'm going to do is turn it like this so that it has a little bit of space. Now, if you look, I could go down smaller on the spine, but I'm going to leave that because I'm not going to glue this side of the spine, and that'll give it some room to expand. So what I'm going to do is put some glue here. I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it pretty close to that edge. I want to leave a little room so that it can fold over. So see. And if you wanted to continue going and just piling up pages, you would just keep adding pages like we did to start with. And then you would figure out what your spine is going to be. So you could have a big stack this big and your spine would need to be that big, and then have some to fold over. I hope that makes sense. So again, I'm not gluing the spine. Here's my spine line right there. And it is wider than my spine. And that's going to give it room once you start poking stuff in there. It will give it room. And I do try and get my spine to where it's halfway even on there, even though it's bigger than what I need on there right now. Once you start putting stuff in here, that's going to expand. This will give it room to expand. Now, another thing is you can see that that spine there is not glued, so it's letting it open. And after this dries, it'll show up better. Okay. See how nice it fits. I'll trim this down just a little. So this is going to be my front, and this is going to be my back. We have the band on it, just like this. So yeah, I made this one a little bit bigger too. As you can tell right there, it's round and open. That is like a hollow back spine, and it gives movement to your spine to let it move the book into a flatter. Okay. So what I'm going to do next is glue these in. So I'm going to just make some pockets. They can be any size. And it does need to be able to fold right there, so I'm a little bit on the big side. And if I were doing this again, I would cut, well, as we go back further, I would cut a little bit longer than an inch, maybe a 2-inch pocket. But really, if you have long things, they will go in there. So I'm putting 3 across mine, 3 pockets, 3 crooked pockets I can see. What else do I got over here? So I just glue down one side and across the bottom and back up that side. So you can see how this is a little bit wider than the other one. So this would be a great project for scraps. If you were making it for yourself and you just wanted to have a mismatched set, just throw them in there. You got these little strips here that they're going. And I'm just trying to match the sizes for my own satisfaction here because I'll get crazy. Now I do need to trim some of these, but we'll trim those in a little bit. And then I'm just going to keep on going. Let's see, what else do I have? So if I wanted this page to have smaller pieces, I could put more of these on here. So I hope y'all have been having a good month and all. Mine has been pretty good. I've been working in my shop a lot more than I used to. I'm trying to grow it. Do I want this one this way, or do I want that? I'm going to go with the ground just because I got enough to make a whole section. Like I said, you could do this scrappy, but my scrappy is a little bit different than other people's scrappy. I just can't do it. So with this, you could make these and have one for every little theme for your ephemera, and they don't take up a lot of room. That's what really surprised me when I started with these. You can see my sizes are off. I'm not going to stress about it too much, even though I am. Well, I'm going to see if I can let it go. See, here I am worrying about stuff I don't need to be worrying about. There's a good example. What not to worry about. Just let God give you some peace about it. And your crookedness and your mismatchedness is just the way God wants it. I did want to show y'all my tags that I did last week that I was working on. I got some of them done and up in the shop. They turned out pretty good. I was surprised. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is just come back and trim all this. So instead of worrying there, I just take my scissors and trim it off instead of trying to get it to even, make sure it's even, because it just don't work that way for me. So for ephemera, I could actually use these little things and put in there and just stick them in here. You can see they'll fit. And there's this one I can put right here. A little bit longer. Let me turn you around. Okay. So then you got all those layers behind it that you can layer these up. I didn't quite get over enough on that one. So then over here, I wanted to do little ones. See how I got them? They would just fit perfectly right there. Yeah, I'm glad I got these out because I had forgot all about them. Don't remember where I got those. I will try and look because I know it's an Etsy shop. And I don't see that. I try to put names in here when I do this. But I'll see if I can put the description in the description box. I think this is 2 different companies' digitals. So, oh, here's one of them. So I do try. The Junk Journal Studio did this one. Put those over there. And I don't see one over here. So I know at least the Junk Journal Studio, and there's another one. I'm going to have to look and see who the other person is. So check the description below. Let me show you real quick before I let you go. How these turned out. So I got little organza bags that I'm going to put these in, and they're 6 inches, so these are just barely going to fit in, but they fit really cute. And then I have in each of them different tags in some of them. So this one has actually 5 tags in a little tab, plus it's got a little notebook that just kind of tucks inside here. And I'm going to put some pins with these so that it can be its own little gift. It's just a stuffed tag I took and put some fabric for the ribbon. I'll get it out in a minute. So you got a pocket here, you got a pocket here, and then you got the pocket in the middle. Let me see. So this one, I pulled out some green Christmas tree stuff. And then it's a little journal. So the journals I matched to this pocket so that they would go together. I really like her with her red hair. She turned out really nice. So these are up in my shop if you're interested. You can definitely go look for them. Or if you want to make some of your own, the video from last week, was it Friday? I think it was Friday. You'll find where I made these. So I hope that you enjoyed this little bit of a video. I feel like these are, see, I could put stuff like that in there. And we'll get our Christmas. You just fill this up, completely up, and have all this ephemera in here. And this will be a lot because there's a lot of pages. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I'd really, really like it if you left me a comment. Let me know what you think. You can leave me a comment on the Bible study. You can leave me a comment on the little project, the junk journal ephemera thing we did, or even the tags, the stuffed tags. Just let me know what you think and what's been going on with you. And I will see you next time.